In or out, it's your call.
There's no ref here.
That's on us.
Decisions like these are about trust.
That's spirit.
Not a slogan.
But to be fair,
Even when the game is on the line.
It's not easy.
sometimes it gets intense.
Because spirit keeps the game bigger than the point.
Bigger than the call.
Bigger than me,
It's how I know I can go all out.
and trust my opponent will too.
It's not just rules, it's respect.
Because when you respect the call,
You respect the player.
It's every decision you make.
Every conversation, every point.
It's the reason I compete at my best.
And when I have to make the call,
In or out,
I'll call it honestly.
because spirit is the standard.
And we don't play below it.
Semi-final matchup here at the 2026 Canadian Ultimate Championships. We're on the last day of the junior phase of our tournament. We're bringing you an open semi-final between BC's Dyno and Quebec City's Origine. My name is Clayton Hallett. I'm joined here with Marie-Philippe Mayotte. I'm practicing. This is going to be a pretty fun matchup, as this is the rematch of the final from last year, where Origine did win the game on a universe point. We needed to go to VAR to see if there was a pick call. So this is going to be exciting. We didn't, on paper necessarily expect to see these two teams in the semi, but it could happen as there was lots of teams coming up to play. We're here in Surrey, British Columbia. It's really beautiful here at the Newton Athletic Park. We're on the traditional lands of the Coast Salish people. We're really privileged and lucky to be here. This is second time in 4 years that the tournament has been in this location. The venue is great. Not a lot of smoke this year for the tournament, which is awesome. Yeah. And the weather has been cooperating. So we'll probably see a lot of big shots and everything. We've seen a lot of zone to shut things down, but some pretty exciting play in both ways. Marie, what are you excited for this game?
I think it's going to be fast. It's going to be a fast-paced game on both sides. Long throws, you said it. Like, we've got just a slight breeze coming in from the far line. I think it's going to be a long game and quick. So, very happy to see it.
Yeah, I don't... At this phase in the tournament, but especially between these two teams, we're not saying, well, it could be a blowout. It could be a 15-5 game. I think this will be tight all the way. We would love to see that. I mean, I've kind of been hyping this up in my own mind because it is the rematch. So Origine's in white. They're going to be pulling from the right side of your screen. Dyno in dark on the left. Origine starting on D. Origine comes down in a match defense, trying to poach in the lanes. Dyno setting up in a vertical and getting off to the races immediately. Velasquez is going to dump it, and Dyno moves the disc around to Zhang. Centeno looks off the deep shot smartly as it was covered. Chua's pass around to Velasquez. Open and fielded well. He'll get it back. He and Velasquez trying to work the disc into a favorable position. Zhang will center that to Chua. And Centeno comes off the front of the stack. A few cuts off the front of the stack for Dyno there, but no problem. They seem to be winning the foot race so far. Velasquez goes up the line to Tang. Tang doesn't like what he sees in the reset. Just going to pop it over to Velasquez. An easy swing over to Chua. But no continue. So instead, looking for the reset, has Centeno. Chua takes off. Centeno not looking at the open side, looking to get it to the break side here. He'll go around. And that pass, the quick, zippy one from Chow to Zhang, gives Dyno the first point of the game, and it's a hold. I know what you expected, fast.
Fast, a lot of dismovement. Origin players were close on the heels of their match players. So yeah, that's what we expected. That's what we expected.
Typically, I would say O-line and D-line, it's interesting. There's a lot of thought in both directions of, do you stack your O-line with your best players? Do you stack your D-line with your best players? Is the D-line always fighting an uphill battle because they're playing against the best players on the other team? Or do you stack your D-line?
You've got to break to win. So
yeah.
we need to get some breaks and then score on those. I mean, you've got to have a strong D-line.
Yeah. Looking over at Dyno's D-line right now, not seeing any crossover from the O-line that just played. Would be a little early in a game to do that. Teams do often cross over their strong players when it's kind of, you're going for the kill. You've had that moment where it's like, we can end the game right now by getting 1 or 2 points in a row here. And very early to do that at the beginning of the game. So we're going to see fresh players here off this D-line.
Donc, Origine à l'attaque.
Dyno also comes down in match defense. Origine running the horizontal. That bounces off of the hands of number 23, Louis Tremblay. So Dyno with the break chance across half here. Poon looking for upfields, but has a free reset over to Tran. Tran doesn't like it. He'll go back to Poon. Dyno looking upfield quite a long time until now. As they get around to Stokes quickly. Stokes in our showcase game did a ton of work for Dyno's D-line. Always the anchor reset. But the front of the stack is getting some production to Tran here. And Stokes is poached off of as Origine gambled on the double coverage. Now at the brick mark, Mullen goes around to Stokes. In turn to Yip. Stokes will get it back. Looking for the short pass to the front. Doesn't have a reset posted up, but it's Tran able to catch his check flat-footed, and Dyno gets the break. Your score, 2-0. We didn't really get a chance to see Origine's O-line do anything.
No, un échappé tôt dans la possession a fait le revirement. Fait qu'on a effectivement pas vu une grande possession là, de la ligne offensive d'Origine.
Yeah. When you do have an early turnover like that, it's on the coaching staff and it's on the maturity of these players to say, okay, we all know that's terrible, for like a result, whatever, and move on. Seeing those same players. Yes, seeing those same players get right back out there. I mean, that is 23 Tremblay. He's right back out there. Back out. A great thing to do, to put the player right back out and be like, that's okay, shake it off.
And we have confidence in you.
Yeah.
You can do it. We've been practicing it. This is what we worked on. So yeah, go do your thing.
This is the harder way to go, though, as the wind is kind of all over the place, but typically been going left to right.
Yeah.
Ariel fields that, coming off his TC victory in Spain. And while quite a tall player, often in the backfield, providing these resets, and he continues to do so. Tremblay. Looking for Ariel. His jab steps aren't working. He's got to make a full cut. He goes up the line, and it doesn't work. He calls a foul against Lael Yip.
Donc, Lucas Ariel qui appelle une faute contact sur son passiva.
Also a former teammate.
Really?
Yeah, they were on TC together. TC Open, so they're both world champions right now. So, they're going to be able to resolve this as they've probably had lots of matchups together. Looking to the left of one of the coaches of that team, Alex Lamb, and he's walking away. He's just put his head down. He's like, I don't know who to support here. I mean, he does. He's got the Dyno jersey on, but they'll work it out.
Team Orange, foul contested.
So this disc will go back to Tremblay. It is a high stall count. It'll come in at 6, the maximum by rule. but Ario's going to have to clear and give room to Trudeau. Trudeau's able to come back. One of two brothers on the team. Dad is coaching. On the brick mark here. Origine finds Asselin. And they're able to work it around. And they pop it over to Ariel. And a big receiver. He is able to get the gainful impact unders and up lines. So that puts Origine on the board. The score 2-1.
Luca Ariel, being a bit everywhere, un peu partout, était capable d'aider à l'arrière du terrain avec les resets, a été chercher le point sur la passe upline. Donc, beau travail de l'équipe d'Origine pour aller chercher ce premier point. C'est 2-1. On a des observateurs sur le terrain. Josh Drury et Dominique Saint-Jacques. Donc, on a des observateurs en plus bilingues pour aider les deux équipes sur le terrain.
So I just went and did a little research. That was Kong Champréon, number 7, with the assist.
He had his sun hoodie on
Yeah,
without
so
any number.
Big no-no when you're on the showcase field. So we've asked him to take it off. Coach Trudeau was all about it. Got that done for us. All right, so favorable defensive point here for Origine, as now they've got a little bit of help from the weather, but earlier Dyno did have no problem going in this direction, playing against a zone now. And we saw when they faced off against Toro that they could move it very quickly through the zone if they needed to, with lots of involvement. They've got 5 players back. Travel called against Chow, but he has Velasquez anyway. He'll go back to Heiserer. And a big swing over to Chua. Also a TC open player. Heiserer now. Didn't have a continue to the other side. He's going to go over the top. Back to Chua. And he's thinking about going over the top instead. He's just going to go to Zhang. And getting a foot on that is the Origine defender. We'll give credit where credit's due when he turns around and we get his name for you. But a big trap play there by Origine to generate a break chance. Tremblay. Gonna look for the reset. It's Plant Coyote. Coyote, excuse me. Ariel with another one, and that's a break. We are back on serve. The score 2-2.
La défensive par Olivier Etu avec son pied. Belle défensive. La pression était forte le long de la ligne. Qui a amené au point.
Having a big man like A2 on the mark like that and then setting the trap, very unpleasant when you're the person with the disc.
Big reach, and he got that foot barely up, but enough to get that disc and get the turn.
So last year, it was a very tight game with Origine and Dyno. I mused a bit earlier in the week that the X factor in that game from Origine was a player who's not with the team anymore because he's too old. And that was Isaac Breton. He played every single point in the second half. I think in the first half, maybe he subbed like 2 or 3 times. Like, kid was a machine. So, you know, I wondered, okay, Origine, does it turn into a depth thing where we're using everybody, or is someone else going to step up? So far to me, it looks like depth.
The coaches from Origine telling me they got 11 new players this year.
Wow.
So quite a new look for this team as well.
Okay, we've got a match defense with some poaching lanes here. Coaches from Dyno letting their players know that they're up against a match. Dang. Didn't like the free up line, looked a little too poachy, so Chow will come back for the reset. Looks for the inside, it's not there. Dyno moves it up to Centeno. Has Heiser up the line. Heiser's going to throw it out to space to a wide open Zhang. A dot by Heiser gives Dyno the quick score. 3-2. Expecting to see a lot of goals in that end zone, but one never knows when teams, the longer you play in conditions on a certain field. I wouldn't say the wind's always the same on every field in the tournament. Sometimes it's a little bit of a different feel as you move around the tournament. It's weird, or at the very least, it feels that way.
Yes, but we've got also some fields that are not
good
in the
point.
same
Yep.
orientation.
Right,
So we've got
they're spun
north,
90
south,
degrees,
and
yeah.
east-west. We're east-west right now. No, actually, we're north-south. So yeah, we've got the wind coming in from the far side, the west side. But it's a slight breeze. But I think this outside-in flick was probably the easiest to throw right now with the wind that we have. The breeze. I
Yeah,
would say.
it's not quite strong enough to kind
No.
of push the face of the disc down yet. That has been happening in the afternoon. It's usually calm in the morning here and picks up. So far, just a game, mental battle, energy battle. That pull will hit a car, and we will get a new game disc coming in.
That came out quite early.
Yeah.
So
Observer Dominic asking, are you good if we switch discs? Well, we better, because that looked
other
like it
one-
might have gone through the windshield. My truck's parked over there, actually. Oh, okay. Well, we'll find out. So Ariel's going to pick up on the sideline here. This comes in where it went out of bounds on the pole and never came back in. He doesn't like the looks offline. He goes underneath. And Duroy is able to deal out his check. Ariel thinks about the overtop, but it's not there. He'll go over to Tremblay. They do give go, and that's a goal. I mean, this is interesting for me, because I called the final last year, and like I was just saying, it was all Breton all the time, right? And then Ariel was that reset, that anchor, sometimes the deep space. Now he's taking over in the backfield, and this happens with turnover, right? You play with your friends. They just played together,
Yeah.
in Spain, so and they've played together a while, so they know it. But now with Isaac moving on, Ariel's kind of stepping into that role of like, I'm the guy you're always going to look at for the reset and move the disc and go up the line. So that's neat to see.
Yes, Ariel qui sort de Team Canada. On voit qu'il est maintenant un pilier sur la ligne offensive d'Origine. Encore une fois, il va chercher le point pour Origine.
I see him taking a rest now, but I won't be surprised if he crosses over quite a bit.
I think we'll see him quite often, definitely.
3-3. Still very early to say who's got any kind of edge right now. This pull is going to stay in bounds. Centered to Chow. Origine once again in a match defense. Velasquez takes off, and he's going to get rewarded for getting that triple cut, but it's a floaty huck. And he elevates with perfect timing, perfect position. It was a good try there from Kong Chiberan to make a play on that, but Velasquez had position basically instantly once that got halfway down the field. So great take for Dyno and a very efficient 0 point.
Chabiran qui a travaillé fort pour mettre la pression sur le catch, mais c'est sûr qu'il y avait un avantage de grandeur du côté de Dyno. Mais
Can't teach it all.
Can't teach it. He put some pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, Dyno had to work for that one as well. It was not easy, but he came down with it.
Yeah, still from Dyno here, seeing a rotation of O-line, D-line. sometimes it's difficult too that you don't want to mess with chemistry too much, right? If you're running O-line, D-line practices all the time, then you come to a tournament and start crossovers. That's also sometimes detrimental because you haven't had the time to figure out someone else's little nuances and
what they
tips.
like to do, where they're gonna head. Yeah, definitely.
given a choice where they're gonna lean. So okay, this pull will. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous. That one also sailed out of bounds.
Not to the cards.
Not to the
time.
cards.
We'll stay with that disc today. Well, for now.
See the beanbag on the field. Sandra Hansen, she's one of the observers. Her mother made those to give to the observers to mark where the disc needs to be brought in. Smart decision, but the throw's too high. And on this second effort, Origine unable to bring it in. A2 made a great layout there, but just bounced off his hands. Stokes goes around to Tran. Kept in bounds by Chatterbox Lael Yip. This will be a travel because he's currently out of bounds. And these blue lines have kind of caught up with people as he's looking at the wrong one. So now he's back in bounds. Tran thinks about throwing it out to space. Probably would have been a floaty pass with the wind as it is. So smart reset to Stokes. I know, showing some great decision making here. Tran all alone. Doesn't like the upfield looks. Once again, taking the safe option to Stokes. Stokes finds Macaulay. They'll work together. Disc on the sideline now. No open continues. He'll take the inside shot to Tran. Tran also looking for options, but it's not quite there. Except no one's watching Macaulay. Goal, Dyno. And that is a break as Dyno's sideline lights up. All right, so they take a 2-point lead. But as they started the game on offense, a 1-break lead. I'll try that again. 2 points, 1 break. They started the game on offense, so this isn't a terrible position for Origine. And earlier we saw them go get that break back, so nothing to panic about yet.
But I'm sure their match plan was not to be playing catch-up from the get-go.
No.
So that's what they're kind of doing right now. I know they're going to put a lot of pressure to get that break back.
Unfortunately, I don't recall if they were down at the beginning of the final last year against Dyno. That would be interesting. I mean, like, I felt that whole game, though, it was tenacity from Origine. We've seen that they have that culture of we play a full game, we don't establish a lead, and then relax. We don't get down on ourselves and give up on a game. I mean, you wouldn't expect a team in semifinals to have that culture anyway. But Origine very obviously has established the opposite, that they go the distance no matter what. It's going to be number 12 here for Dyno. Ramesh Jalith, that's going to pull. That one stays inbound. The wind in this direction a little bit more favorable. Alec Trudeau and Ariel play a little bit of pass to get the disc up to the brick mark. Ariel shoots right away. No one really on Aslan. It's going to float, though. So Jalith has a shot. He has position. Expect a call. Yep. And I'm not saying out loud here that I believe that was a foul outright or not, but with that kind of contact from behind, you can absolutely expect. Maria, I kind of felt like they were jostling for position there, and almost that Jalith from Dyno had it.
That's what I was.
Spot, right?
I was going to say I feel Dyno at a better position than Origine.
Yeah, and the observers agreed, like, because Jalith established that position, and they both know where each other is. It's not up to Tremblay to then like back up and shoulder him and then call a foul because it was contact on his back. It's like both players have a right to establish position, and Jalith had it first.
Donc la position du joueur de Dyno était favorable pour que la faute soit renversée.
Yep. Doesn't like his options, looking for the reset, to Stokes. And he gets that juke back to go. He's out of bounds. So players have been getting this blue lines confused. There's a get back line and there's a sideline, and players are often looking at the second one. Observers do make active in and out calls on the line. So Dominic St. Jacques in the orange making that call immediately. And Go Dewey needs a reset. It bounces off the hands of his reset, looking for the next pass. That was Tremblay, and Tremblay's check takes off. It's Yip who gets the goal. So another break for Dyno. Errors. So we've got 2 points in a row now for Origine. Your offense is doing fine until you make the mistakes you can't afford at this level, and that is the execution catching, the throwing to an open person.
J'ai l'impression qu'il a levé les yeux juste avant de terminer son attrapé.
100%.
Ça l'a juste fait la petite erreur. Origine qui prend un temps mort maintenant pour se recentrer, retourner à leur jeu de base, puis maîtriser, là, essayer d'arrêter ces petites erreurs-là. We saw the Origin player not so happy to not have heard an up call on that disc to be able to defend as well. I think he would have liked to hear that the disc was in the air on his way.
I mean, yeah, I often feel, okay, hot take. All right, Tremblay can watch this back and tell me I'm totally wrong later, but he did put his head down after the turnover, right?
Yes.
And I would have a hard time with a teammate or a player that I was coaching. They can be like, where was the up call? I'm like, dude, you needed us to help you with that awareness because it was a lapse in your awareness thinking about the turnover. It's hard because everybody's going to have emotions when they drop something like that. They're like, oh, man, what am I doing?
Right.
But that lack of awareness was you doing something else. Like, you make that turnover, you got to turn around and be like, oh, shoot, but is there any dangers?
Yes.
Right? And he didn't do that. So, you know, I don't want to, like, jump on that too much, but it is also kind of a lesson of, like, well, this is why you don't look at your hands. This is why you don't put your head down, because you might get burned right away.
It's hard to put that mistake aside and then just think about it when you're on the sideline after the fact. But yeah, that 2 or 3 seconds definitely cost him some contest on that on that long
absolutely
throw.
I mean, and that's something that is good to learn. You don't necessarily want to have to be learning it in a semifinal, but you know, that's something for a player playing juniors.
Yes,
That this is a good moment to look back at this and say, yeah, that's where my emotions did catch up with me in that one moment. On the flip side, you know, he's not going to make that mistake again. He's going to be very focused with his catching the rest of the game. Ariel gets that up the line to Ngo Dewey. He's got a wide open A2 in the middle. They'll flip it back to Ariel. Tremblay. Slash cut work by Ngo Dewey here is giving Origine favorable field position. Again, not something they've had problems with. Jacqueline looking for the up line. Instead, he'll take the safer reset. Ariel now over to Ngo Dewey. They set up an ISO, and the big man uses the lank and is able to reel that in with a thrower-initiated pass out to space.
That's right. That's right. Lucas Ariel ne bougeait à peine dans la zone de but, attendait la passe, savait qu'il avait le reach pour aller le chercher. Beau travail. Encore une fois, Lucas Ariel qui a dirigé l'attaque toute à longueur du terrain là-dessus. Beau travail d'Origine.
But did have better support that time. I felt it wasn't him the whole time. No. You know, Ngo Dewey did come back and start making those slash cuts in front. It is, you know, it does kind of establish this false sense of, like, when Ariel does do all that work, Dyno was like, he wants it back, he wants it back, he wants it back. And then Ngo Dewey's like, oh, they've stopped looking at me. Nice. I'll just go, you know, get those 10-yard gains, 3 in a row, basically. And that's, you know, the field length from goal line to goal line is 70 yards. If you can get your off handler, your reset handler, the guy who's not the quote-unquote hot guy in the hot seat, you know, to get 3 passes like that, he's basically worked it halfway down the field by himself.
Yeah.
Chow yields that pull. Doesn't like the options right away as Origine comes down a little bit loose to break up the play. Kaiser has Zhang, though, coming underneath from pretty deep. Moves it to Velasquez in the middle. Centeno takes off. Velasquez does not take the shot. Tang. Moving that over to Zhang, to Heiser. Going to reset to Zhang. Chua goes with the slash cut. Looks for Chow. Chow still there for the inside. Centeno. Run through D by Reyes. You know that's a number 95 that's going to get a run through D like that. And
Belle défensive de Juan Sébastien Reyes là-dessus, sans arrêter sa vitesse.
Trudeau looking for options. Reyes has to come all the way back to get the reset. Robelge finds Lavallee. Pick call. Kind of a little bit of traffic. And everybody's going to go back to where they need to be. Good. Snappy heads up to rectify the situation by all. Alec Trudeau gets up high. Pitches that out to space. And Chabiran made a great effort there to keep the disc inbound. Velasquez checks on him as he kind of had a weird landing there. Ashley takes the around and then takes off. Working with Kobelj. Back to Alec. He points deep. Looking for the shot. It's not there. He goes around to Kobelj. Lavallee wants to dump right away. Doesn't look upfield. Kind of stifling Origine. Never mind. It's Aslan from the stack. Coming under to get a game for Origine, but they need to start working on this timing to get some more gainful unders. Contested throw, but Chabihan using those wheels. And the high stall count, but Lavallee is left wide open for the crossfield shot. High risk, but no one was on him, so it works. Robelge. Round to Trudeau. Looks at Reyes. Excuse me, looked at Aslan, but it wasn't there. Robelge didn't like the across. Looks at Trudeau. Trudeau with a jab step to get the lateral reset. He'll have to take the little flip back to Robelge as Dyno has been putting on the clamps here against this vertical stack. And Robelge will call a timeout. Coach Joshua Falk, very vocal over here on the sideline, cheering his team on with that lockdown defense against the vertical.
We could hear they wanted to stop the around passes from Origine. Dyno doing a good job. No upfield throws in the last few passes. So good work on Dyno for that. Origine looking for a solution. Donc, un petit temps mort de Origine pour tenter de trouver une solution à la ligne défensive en ce moment de Dyno qui les empêche de gagner des verges.
I think that adjustment will be the front of the stack coming down earlier. I think what's happening is, and the handler clearing up. There's a lot of dancing. There's a lot of dancing, and Dyno seems okay with that. It's not, strategies have shifted. As a university coach, I've been watching kind of the old school of like, you know, clear out if it's not you, or do the 45 up, 45 back. The meta has shifted such that the reset just needs to get the disc. At all costs, reset the stall count and we'll set up a cut off of it. But right now, it might be time to shift a little bit back to old school. Get that handler. In this case, that'll be in the position of Alec Trudeau out of there. Have him go up the line if the round's there, cool. And then set up the front of the stack to use quite literally that whole half of the field to get open. Give them the field space early in the stall count. But Origine sets up in a horizontal here.
That's what I was going to say. Un stack horizontal pour Origine. Ça donne beaucoup d'espace dans le fond du terrain.
Comes in at 0. Robelge swings it right away. And kind of the wrap horizontal handler reset doesn't work out, but Aslan's able to come down from the 2 spot. Origine needs to get this off the sideline because this is where Dyno is comfortable. Ashlyn gets the scoop cut up the line. Oh, there's a call. I believe Centeno was saying there was a push-off because there was a foul call. And in this case, we know it's a offensive foul because the disc was a completed pass. Never mind. Oh, okay. No, we got some new signals now. It was a contested stall. Retracted. Alex Trudeau turning on the Jets, going up line and getting the goal. That is a break for Origine. It's just a one-break game right now, so still anybody's. We're still in it. Origine making that adjustment to horizontal, as you said, was, well, not what I expected coming out of the timeout, and it really worked for them.
I thought they were going to hit the backfield, try to get over that defense line, but no, they worked it hard. They grinded out.
Timeout called by Dyno here.
All right. Fait que, beau travail d'Alex Trudeau pour aller chercher ce point. On a vu aussi la résolution de la faute avec une poignée de main. L'équipe d'Origine qui a travaillé très fort sur son esprit du jeu. Entre autres, là, avec son sideline, mais un peu dans tous les aspects. Là. Puis on voit que c'est payant à travers le tournoi. Ils ont eu des très beaux matchs côté esprit du jeu.
Yeah, they specifically were telling us that it was working on the sidelines presence, or what should be lack thereof, on calls. It's difficult when you're on the sideline and you see something as an individual that seems terribly obvious to you, and you just want to let everybody on the field know, and your opponent obviously makes the opposite call from the different perspective. And you know, if it's a tight game and you're intense, you get emotional about it, you know. And they've worked really hard to just get the sideline to maybe turn around, relax.
Yes, not be as loud sometimes to let the players on the field play the game. But right now, both teams are. They have a really active sidelines, so it's a nice game.
Common O-line out there for Dyno. Looking at the Origine line though, and more familiar faces.
So that timeout from Dyno, what was said, you think?
Oh, I think just because they got broken, nothing. I actually watched the Dyno players walk out in their 7. That was just a rest. Our O-line just got broken. We're not worried about them, but let's give them a breather because there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like with the score at 5-5 at the or 6-4 at the time, you know, half is soon. You have 2 timeouts for half. I mean, it's just, you know, use that to allow your players to collect and drink some water. Heiser is going to bring this pole to the brick or the disc to the brick, excuse me, as the pole went out of bounds. Tapped in. He goes to Chua immediately. The two will work together against the zone. Travel called by 2-9, Plant Cowet. This is one of those change of direction travels, I think. So you are allowed 3 steps, and they were throwing it well before that. But if you take 2 steps and 1 step is to the right and the next step is to the left, that's illegal if you haven't set a pivot. So,
but now you're not obligated to slow down in your 3 steps, so you can keep your momentum, not speed up, and do their pass. So with the observers helping out, this came back to the original thrower. People are taking their position.
Chua has Zhang in front. They're just hanging out with these little passes until they can get a better reset and then find holes just like that. So while those passes don't seem to mean much, it's about setting up a hole later. And we'll see that again here. Chisel from the back. So that's coming from the back into the front of the cup. Little passes. Little passes. Is the swing there? It is. So, yeah. Smart formula here from Dyno. No gap in the cup that time, so they'll swing it back to the middle. And they're looking for that reset in front. So love to have that player strike from behind or chisel in. Sorry, from behind the cup, I should say. Or chisel in from behind the play. CUC makes the drop. Now, sometimes zones are designed to force you to make a lot of passes and use statistics to cause a turnover. That one does. Ariel picks up. Goes around, the pass is high to an elevating Gauthier. Pitches that back to Plancouette. Gauthier is making his mark in the game. It finds an outfield pass. It gets over to Tremblay. And Ariel once again getting the goal. That's another break for Origine. We equalized on the breaks. We are back on serve in ultimate parlance. The score 6-6.
Donc, la zone efficace d'Origine, ils sont allés sur le nombre de passes. Dyno a fini par faire une erreur. Dyno n'avait pas de problème à circuler le disque, pour de vrai. Il pouvait le bouger de manière latérale sans problème, mais finit par faire une erreur. Et le point de Lucas Arial pour terminer ce bris d'Origine.
C'est 4 points pour Ariel maintenant?
I believe so.
No,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Et très actif.
Yeah, very.
Mais là, c'est les 2 bris de suite pour Origine qui fait du bien à l'équipe de Québec pour revenir 6-6 dans ce match.
I had T10 winning, you know, over Origine. I just thought it was their year this time. But,
Yesterday, it's Stan.
yeah, were you upset?
Matt? Kind of.
Yeah.
Stan was leading. They were trading points, but Stan was just a point or two ahead for the entire game.
Yeah.
Origine managing a comeback.
Yeah. Chow has Velasquez in the middle. They'll play together as Chow gets that big slash cut across. Heiser has always been sticking around nearby. A deep threat, so he gets a lot of easy unders. Hua started looking at Centeno, then at Yip to kind of cut each other off. So looking for Stokes, who's crossing over to an offensive point here, as he has been a very dependable reset. Not surprised to see that, as you want to change up the handler look a little bit, perhaps, when you're struggling. But match defense that Dyno is currently having no real problem with. Showing some patience and getting gains as Yip finds Velasquez. Velasquez calling the shot he wants. It's not there. He and Chow will do some resetting. Centeno setting up his. Reyes, though, hanging out, not giving that up. And another error as that throw is behind Chatterbox, Lael Yip. An injury call. I can see Chow topping his shoulders, so play will stop as Chow goes off. And it's going to be Osmina coming on, I believe, for Dyno. On an injury call, the team who didn't call the injury can also make an equal number of substitutions. So Sirois comes on for Origine here. Observers just getting in there, letting them know, here's how we're going to put the disc back into live play where everybody can move once again.
Donc, suite à une blessure, les deux équipes, ben, évidemment, le joueur blessé peut échanger avec un joueur sur la ligne de côté. L'autre équipe également, donc Origine, pouvait faire un changement. Une fois que les joueurs vont taper au sol, ça va remettre le disque, ça va repartir le jeu qui va permettre le mouvement des joueurs partout sur le terrain.
Hearing Coach Edward Blow on this side, telling his players to wrap. He'd rather they take the upwind shot in the open space rather than the around reset. Hearing it once again, so Bosmina comes all the way around on the mark against Asselin. Asselin's going to take the inside. It's high, but Bélanger with the clutch grab. Dug out of the ground by Sirois. That disc is thrown too low. Dyno tries to capitalize, and they do. Yep, with the quick flip to Stokes. That's a hold, though. Dirty hold for Dyno. The score 7-6. Scoring on what is arguably the easier side to do so right now.
A short field once that turned was given to them. So, yeah, Dyno quick punching it in.
Just got the word from Observer Saint-Jacques that half will be indeed at 8. We are just 4 minutes shy of what would have been a halftime cap, but since the team has 7, half will be taken at 8. Still on serve. That is to say, when we say on serve, is basically if you started the game on offense and then you're currently winning by 1 point, that means you've essentially gone shot for shot. That is point for point during the game, even if there have been runs where you've gone up a few and the other teams come back. So that's more vernacular that we steal from sports and ultimates. Pick calls,
Le Ultimate, c'est un assemblage de plein d'autres sports, un peu, hein, des règlements pris de plusieurs sports pour faire le Ultimate. Donc, effectivement, oui, les pics, les bris, comme au tennis,
Yeah,
les
on
pics au
serve,
basket.
like the tennis. Anyway, this Paul going to be fielded by Trudeau. Quickly flipped to Ariel. He didn't have any options as there was a big poach defense there by Dyno. Fluffing in the lanes there. Instead, they find Tremblay up the line. Ariel takes off up the line himself, and he puts that out to space. And not surviving the ground contact. That pretty cool effort by Leopold Sirois. He had it. I didn't think he was going to get it, and then he had it, and then the ground just knocked it out. So
I thought it was in his hands.
Yeah.
I mean, Léopold Sirois avec un bel essai d'attraper ce disque un peu loin. Mais ça donne le revirement à Dyno.
Stokes, once again, staying on the O-line here. Kind of an awkward take by Tran. I think he's okay.
Landing looked harsh, but he says he's fine.
Okay, coffin corner here for Dyno. If I was coaching Stokes, I wouldn't be worried about it, as he is a very strong handler. He finds Mullen up the line, but Tremblay saying you took a line around my teammate Ingo Dewey was a pick, so that can't stand. Picks are illegal in Ultimate. Too unsafe to allow them. So they'll go to Mullen anyway. He looks at the around. It's not there. High stall count. He's thinking, can I throw this to deep space? Instead goes over the top to Stokes. Stokes keeps it in. Chabinhan apologizing for the contact. Stokes kind of looking up like, bro, foul. They're good. Chabinhan did apologize for kind of a late hit there immediately. Tran able to work his feet and get open. And Chabinhan still dogging Stokes there, but Stokes able to get open. Great grab by Jaden McCready. He'll find the inside to Yip. Yip trying to organize his team, takes a shot. And Chalik sets up the position and seemed to jump second, but just had the right timing. Amazing catch.
Sur ses talons. On voit que Louis est un peu déçu de ne pas avoir réussi à faire la défensive là-dessus. Great timing for the catch.
Yeah. So that was a break. Dyno now up 8-6, and that is our halftime. So we're going to jump off real quick here. You can join us in 7 minutes when the second half will resume and take a break. In the meantime, if you want to stick around, we're going to do a few halftime interviews with players here, if they're so willing. So you can either take a break, do what you got to do, or stay with us for some interviews. We'll be right back.
Bonjour, donc entrevue de mi-temps avec Kwan Chabiran de l'équipe d'Origine, numéro 7. Je viens de voir que tu étais aussi capitaine de l'esprit du jeu.
Oui.
Tu sors de ta rencontre de capitaine. Comment se passe le match à date?
Pour de vrai, des deux bords, on trouve que c'est vraiment intense. Il y a un peu de contact, mais ça se règle bien. Fait que niveau spirit, ça va bien pour la première demi.
On a vu que toi-même, tu avais un contact là, sur la ligne proche d'ici. Tout de suite, tu t'es excusé,
Ouais, c'est
serré
ça.
la main du joueur, prêt à continuer à jouer. Pas besoin d'implication des observateurs.
J'avais pas vraiment de bid, fait que c'était pas trop ma place à faire un play. Là.
Super. Comment que se passe ton tournoi à date ici à Surrey?
On a vraiment beaucoup de matchs serrés. Là. Notre pool était très stacké. On avait justement Dyno qu'on a déjà affronté en pool. On avait perdu 11-8, mais on est là pour se reprendre et aller en finale.
Super. Là, vous êtes 2 bris en retard, c'est 8-6. Vous allez commencer en attaque pour la deuxième demi. C'est comment que ça se passe de votre côté sur le sideline?
Mais pour le vibe, pour de vrai, on sait très bien qu'on peut aller la chercher. C'était la même chose contre Titan encore
Un
hier.
match très serré hier
Ouais, c'est
après-midi.
On a la volonté de vraiment revenir dans le match puis aller chercher ces 2 bris de retard-là.
Super. Fait que on a bien hâte de voir la deuxième demi. Y avait-tu du monde que tu voulais saluer avant de partir?
Pas particulièrement, à part mon frère qui est sûrement dans les stands en ce moment puis qui va jouer demain. J'ai hâte de le
Good.
voir.
Excellent, mais merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Bonne journée.
Bonne journée.
We're back with coverage from one of our open semifinal matchups here at the Canadian Ultimate Championships in the junior phase of our tournament. Dyno in black, who just pulled against Origine in white. Dyno is up 8-6 in this rematch from the finals from the year previous. Ariel throwing the disc. He has been a big playmaker in this game. He'll get it right back and gets to a give go with his team and takes off. Takes it high. That's got to be his 5th point of the game. So a very efficient 0 point straight out of the gate for Origine. The score 8-7.
Très rapide encore, Lucas Arial pour l'attraper dans la zone de but. Point très efficace, effectivement.
We said earlier, who would step into this X factor role for the Origine team after some turnover last year? And, you know, I've said lots of names for Origine this game in the play-by-play. It's not as if he's the only one, Ariel, but he's certainly, when he's out there, he's getting the disc back all the time, and he's scored the majority of the goals for Origine. But, you know, want to shout out too. I mean, Origine has been using all of their players to make some things happen as well. So
that was one of their main focus. They wanted to involve all 7 players on the field.
I believe that's Breton actually giving tips to Origine right now. 31 there in the dark, Origine.
Yes, that's what they told us. The coach told us before. Breton being now a coach on the team after being on the team last year.
Well, that's cool.
Yes, Breton, qui n'a pas nécessairement un gros background de frisbee, qui venait de d'autres sports et qui a commencé le frisbee plus tard.
You know what his sport was before?
They told us, but I forgot.
Zhang, looking for options. Able to find Chow. So, look for the reset to Chua. It's not there. Into traffic. Velasquez muscles everybody out. And Reyes switches to stop the deep shot from happening. Good defensive heads-up play. Zhang able to make the scoop slash for the reset. Velasquez in front, not there. Big around, floaty pass to Chow. He moves it around to Heiser. Centeno able to run onto it. Wants to take the easy pass. It's not quite there, so he decides just to value. Really smart play from Centeno here. Chu. Over to Chow. He's fired up as he gets it to Velasquez. He wants it back as there's been some bump and grinding on his mark, so you can tell he wants this. Goes around to Zhang. Centeno's wide open. Goal, Dyno. The score, 9-7.
Great hold for Dyno. Lots of disc movement from left to right, right on the end zone line. So really patient, wanted to get that point.
So we were told, well, you were told at halftime that Origine's not too worried about this right now. Is that correct?
They're confident that they can break again and come back in this game. So not saying they're not worried. I'm saying they know it. They can do it. They've done it before and they want to do it again. Alors, Origine qui me disait là, à la mi-temps, comme vous avez vu sur l'entrevue, là, qu'ils savent qu'ils sont capables de remonter ce match, puis de remonter avec des bris. Maintenant, ils vont commencer en attaque sur le prochain point.
I had a chance to speak to Coach Alex Lamb from Dyno during half, and I asked about number 31, Hazen Stokes, whether or not he would be a D-line only this game, and he said, no, we have a few crossovers, yep. And, oh, there was a third, but Stokes was in that group of someone who would cross over often when needed in the game, but it was needed earlier, but now they've got that healthy lead again.
That pull sails out of bounds and will be brought up to the brick mark. Donc, Origine qui va pouvoir remonter ce disque à la marque de brique qui est marqué par un X bleu sur le terrain puisque le disque a atterri à l'extérieur.
Horizontal O set by Origine. Tremblay with the focus this time is able to get that low pass. And a pick called. You see folks flexing their biceps. That is the signal for a pick. You're within 10 feet of the player you're marking and you're impeded. You can call a pick. Tremblay gets the reset. Hezengo-Dewey in the backfield. Dyno seemingly okay with that lateral pass, but then Ariel comes off the front to get the game right back. Tremblay with the up line in front. He'll look to Ariel for a bail, throws the inside. And then with ease, Ariel is able to get that Olivier Etu and a hold there. So a few, I don't want to say easy, but relaxed holds from each team here. The score now 9-8 for the team in black.
Un beau travail d'équipe de Tremblay et de Arial pour travailler ce disque. Et puis la passe de points à Etu pour une possession relativement facile pour Origine. So, quite an easy hold for Origine.
And when we say easy, it's that they didn't seem to be bothered by the defense. They were never put on their heels. They were always in control. I always like to tell offensive lines, you're doing it right if the defense always feels like they're on the back step and they're reacting. As soon as the defense feels like they're proactive and they're making you make tougher choices, that's when they're winning, even if you still have the disc. So when we're saying easy, it just seems that that O-line group was just like, all right, yeah, we're not open right away, but we'll get it. They're following us. They're chasing us.
J'ai vraiment aimé la passe courbe intérieure, là, the IO flick from Tremblay.
And I don't think anyone on Dyno was expecting it, and that's what put him in a good position. So zone look from Origine here, but we've got an injury. Quite a few throws back. Our observers will be able to tell everybody where it happened. Now, if you call an injury without getting contacted by anyone else, you have to sub. So Kong Chabiral is going to go off here shortly. And it's like Louis Tremblay is going to come on for him.
Donc,
No.
une blessure du côté d'Origine. Semblait avoir une substitution, mais les observateurs sont en train de nous aider à reprendre les positions au moment de la blessure.
Now, I think Chabiral is just deciding if he wants to sub or not. It seems that this was an injury that did happen through contact with the opposing team. And when that happens, if you get injured through that sort of contact, you actually don't need to sub, but you can call the injury to collect yourself. So we all sorted that out, but the resolution is Tremblay comes on. Origine still in this zone look. Zhang just asking the observers, what is the proper way for me to tap this in, please and thank you? Comes in at stall 2. Dyno has the tools and methods here to shred through a zone. They like to hang out in front with little passes until they find a gap. Another travel called. They'll take little passes. Now a double team called. Get out your rule book, everybody. Okay, we're back into it. There's the big swing that Dyno looks for. No continue this time. Oh, a scooper over the top. A little bit later to Velasquez. Zhang now. We'll take the chisel cut and get the cut moving backwards to create some gaps either around or through. And Zhang with the neat pivot. Reminiscent of one Tim Zhang. Velasquez. Looking for options. Coach Lam for Dyno letting his team know Origine has melted into a match defense. Velasquez looking for options. Centeno takes off, but it's not really developed. Kua instead will get the up line. Centeno comes under. It's not there. Velasquez dogged here by Reyes. So running out of time, Dyno is able to get it to Centeno, who comes back. Big block there by Louis Tremblay as he saw that swing coming across and just put his feet down and pushed off to just get his fingers on that pass to Centeno. Ariel picks up and tries to get the slash cut in front. And Robelge eventually gets the reset from Luc Trudeau. Ariel's going to put this out to space to Tremblay. Takes it high over Centeno. Double a happiness for Tremblay. That is to say, I made the defensive play and I got the goal. I'll get it done. Coming in as an injury sub. A very pivotal break from Origine. The score 9-9. Okay, that was fun.
That was fun. Great work from Tremblay. Donc, beau travail au niveau défensif de Tremblay. Et ensuite, pour s'élever, aller chercher la haute passe de points dans la zone de but. Beau travail. Aussi, excellent travail du trio là, qui a fait la zone. Maxime Lavallée, Charles Bélanger, puis Loïc Trudeau. Ils ont travaillé très fort. Mais Dyno qui a quand même réussi à passer à travers la zone. Puis d'amener Origine à faire une défensive personne à personne.
Once again on serve. That is to say, we started the game at 0-0. Dyno was on offense, Origine on defense. The only difference is they're on the opposite sides of the field from where they started. Arguably, Origine on the better side.
Are they Origine down one break because they started the second half in O? So,
but they scored.
Dyno has the point.
But it's tied.
It's tied.
So I think we're on serve. Dyno started the game on O, right?
Yeah.
Tie game, yeah. So that is as it should be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We got it.
We got it.
Another zone look from Origine here. Dyno seemingly trying to get their legs moving. That is a massive travel. But all you have to do is ground check it. And this floaty pass, kind of scary, but Chua shoulder checks and knows, I got this, and elevates early to protect it in Callahan country here. Stokes goes around to Chow, to Centeno. The sideline is losing their mind to force something like this. That pass sails over everybody except Bozmina. Over to Centeno. Things calming down now. Lots of players back for Dyno. They're getting into their system against a zone. Take little passes, stay in front of the disc. We will find the gaps. Velasquez has the gap with the inside across to Chua. Centeno. He doesn't have a continue right away. Velasquez comes across on an unchallenged slash cut. He doesn't see any options. Wants the reset to Chow. Chow tries the jab step up line. It's not there. Has to take the inside shot to Chua. Not in. Velasquez is going to try the jab to get open. And Tremblay was close to making that D. If you're on Origine's side, you're like, oh, Tremblay's so close, but that would have been a blindside hit. So I believe Tremblay pulled up and didn't lay out into the back of Velasquez there. That was a good choice.
Effectivement, il faut que les joueurs contrôlent leur mouvement et la direction de leur course. Dans ce cas-ci, le joueur d'Origine voyait bien la position du joueur de Dyno puis a décidé d'éviter le contact.
Yeah. Smart thing. And had he not, that would have been a penalty, like a yellow card for dangerous play. Those follow you in the tournament, so you don't want to rack them up. Origine discussing, are we taking a timeout? No, we're not. Get our players out there. We've been corrected. That is actually not Breton coaching over there. That is Gosserin, I believe, is his last name. And he is from other sports, though. He used to be a hockey goalie. Thank you, commenters on YouTube. We took a screenshot, and you fact-checked us, and we are always actually, 100% okay with that. We'd love to give all of our community members credit where credit is due. And if we're giving credit to someone else, let us know. This isn't exactly our day job, so we do the best we can. So appreciate your help with that. Pull from Dyno here. Levi Mullen keeping it inbounds. Trudeau will pick up. Flips that to Ariel. Tremblay in the middle. He's been playing quite a few points. Trudeau is going to let loose to Asselin. Asselin has the read. Goes early and on the trailing edge. Takes... I kind of took a breath there because I felt like that was just going to be a left hand sail into my hand. Instead, he elevated early and went with the trailing edge catch. So an athletic catch. I just felt my entire right side seize up watching that. So, you know, juniors can do the athletic things to get it done. The score, 10-10.
Beau travail d'Origine. Là-dessus, un point efficace. Donc, une montée très efficace, la passe et l'attrapée extraordinaire du côté d'Origine.
On serve, 10-10. Our final last year went to Universe. So this is the rematch I certainly wanted. And I'm sure most fans did. Maybe not if you are a Dyno or Origine supporter, you want to see a blowout. But, you know, I love the excitement in these tight games. So this is certainly what I wanted to see.
Feels like a final?
It feels like a final, as it should.
It's not.
And both sidelines, like, super loud. You know, I'm just looking over there, and everybody's engaged. Again, no surprise. Ariel's pull will land inbounds, be fielded by Stokes. Match defense here. Well, no, it is a zone defense, just a little loose to start, but it is this arrowhead / diamond zone where we're trying to force lots of lateral passes if we're the defense. Go with that. Lob averages. And here's the trap. But Velasquez is okay with the OIO pass to get through that. Stokes will flip it over the top to Chow. Osmina nearby. Back to Chow. Origine back into match defense now. Stokes has a wide open Centeno. Excuse me. Yep. Over to Velasquez. Back to Yep. Yep. Capitalizes on the player laying out and missing. Kua flips it to Velasquez. And Centeno with expert timing to come out of the stack for the goal. The score 11-10. The time is 11:40, which means soft cap will come on in 5 minutes. And when it does, because it will, we will explain what happens.
That's right.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of doing that way too early and then it doesn't happen. So just
on
wait.
the next few points.
Yeah.
We've got a timeout called on Origine's side.
You can call timeouts in caps. I like this one here, though. You're not feeling any urgency from the cap. Your players know when they're running out of time, right? That cap comes on, and then they feel that heat. And there's only 10 minutes between soft and hard cap. So I'm calling a timeout a little bit earlier now. I think this is a very advised timeout to take and give your big-name players some rest. I'm thinking in this huddle, this is probably where you're telling your team, hey, we're going to ride our dogs now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just, sorry, y'all, the bench is tight. We're playing 12 people. We're going to give them the rest they need, but this is do or die in the tournament right now. So, and I'm looking at Dyno sideline. Coach Guo out there talking about some strategies with Yip, where he wants him to go. So they're all staying active on some strategy here as well. But seeing what is basically the same line out there for Dyno.
Pour Origine, on va voir s'ils vont mettre une power line, mais c'est définitivement un moment important. On peut voir Louis Tremblay qui est là, Lucas Arial.
Won't be surprised if he plays the rest of the game.
Alec Trudeau. On voit des noms qu'on a vus beaucoup dans ce match à date. Olivier Etu est là également.
This poll will stay in. Trudeau. Centers to Ariel. Flash cut play out of the split stack doesn't work, so Origine will just reset. Finds Tremblay. Hearing the wrap call from the Dyno sideline, they really want to force Origine to take the inside shots. Trudeau is able to find Asselin up the line. Trudeau goes back. Asselin doesn't care about the wrap mark and is able to get it back, but Osmina's mark keeps Trudeau from swinging it across. Tremblay has to turn on the Jets. He does. it looked like he kind of wound up and tightened up, ready to extend and lay out. He's like, or I'm just fast, and runs on to that, tying the game 11-11.
That pass put perfectly in space. Oui, exactement. Une belle passe du côté ouvert, le long de la ligne de but. Le long de la ligne de côté, plutôt. Beau travail pour Origine.
You know, I just saw Coach Francis and Coach Lamb, or Coach Alex, cross paths there and give each other the high five and go, man, this is a good game. So you love to see that professional sportsmanship here. The adults recognizing the performance their teams are putting on for us today. Soft cap is going to go in about 30 seconds by the clock. So once that happens, we're going to wait for the conclusion of this point. Because it's tied, it's going to be a game to 13 regardless. So I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So one team is going to score. Someone will have 12. We're going to add one to the highest point. So this is going to be a game to 13. So this is a game to 2. This is a game to 2. 0-0 game to 2.
Donc, comme on vient d'expliquer, ça va être le soft cap. On vient d'entendre le horn. Donc, le point est déjà commencé. Donc, après ce point-ci, ça va être score maximum plus 1.
Origine coming down in the slough. Will they stick with the zone? They will. Diamond zone. We like those sideways passes. Dyno does have a system to deal with this. Chisling from behind. Chua had a lot of momentum, maybe a little too much there. He kind of didn't try to slow down and instead took the hit with A2. I'm kind of with A2 on this one.
Yes, we heard the sideline from Origine. A bit of a reaction on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I get what Chua's doing. He wants to use momentum. He gets 3 steps, but like you can't use that defense to slow down. Stokes. Chua again with the little Euro step there, but no call. Stokes. He and Chua are going together, and here's the trap call from Origine. Their sideline gets very loud to cause the trap. To get the wrap, Stokes doesn't care, goes over the top to Chow. Chow punishes the gap over top at the wing to Velasquez. Still in this zone is Origine. Here's the big wrap pressure. And Chua undresses his check and gets an easy around. More of a walk there by Chow, but uncalled. Stokes. As Chua, this time he's keeping his feet down, and now he's off to the races. That goes off of the knee, they too, so no turnover there. Coach Lamb telling Dyno to come back and offer more support to the handlers, as it's just been a 3-man show the past few throws. Out of bounds called. Stokes goes down.
He slid while landing. Already back on his feet.
Coach Lamb jumping the gun, but getting back to the sideline. He's too locked in. Okay, trap call here. Up high, Tomblay's going to gamble, and that is a late hit. Understandable upset, Chow. We're going to see a card come out here because Tomblay did have to, like, he should have known. I think Tomblay made a gamble there. That's the sort of one where it's like, I can make a play, but if I'm going to hit someone like that. Seeing the blue card, not dangerous, but illegal contact, I think, is the
the blue card serving as a warning to be careful.
Yeah.
That could have been avoided.
Yeah. Chua. It's Stokes, who comes around for the jam cut, eventually getting it around to Chow. Chow finds a hole to Bosmina. Bosmina did a great job of being patient and available. Velasquez. Inside! Over to Chow. Chow looks for the around, steps into his check. Comblay put some pressure on to force a high throw, and Origine makes the play. I believe it was a 2 with the volleyball spike. No matter. Ariel's going to pick up. Origine has a break chance in this game to 2. Needs a reset. And it bounces off the hands of Surrey. Dyno has it back. Hitting players everywhere, desperate to get the turn. Velasquez goes up high to Centeno. It's not in. Velasquez is going to try the jab step in front. Centeno looked for someone else and faked it out, and Velasquez stuck around. Goal Dyno. So this puts us at 12 to 11. The soft cap is on. Game to 13. Dyno needs 1 point. Origine will need to hold to force Universe.
Again, a drop on Origine's side. I feel like he looked up just before finishing his catch once more.
Wide receiver syndrome. It's a tough one. Yes, thank you, Observer Dom, letting us know it is indeed a game to 13, so that confirms it for you, everybody. And, I mean, the impartial. I just out myself right there. The impartial sports fan in me wants to see Origine get this point so we can get the repeat of the Universe versus these two teams. A repeat from last year. But yes, granted, I am a BC person, so you know, part of me wants BC to win, but at the same time, you got the defending champs here with a big turnover giving us a game. I really just want a Universe point.
Yes, and this is a great matchup, East versus West.
The Origine women's team showing up for some support here. We've got
the stands pretty well stacked.
That pole's going to go out of bounds. And it'll be brought to the brick. That's the blue X in the middle of the pitch there. Unless, of course, as it's marked by the orange pylon, if it goes out of bounds before that, the disc can be centered wherever it went out of bounds. Different from the whip-diff rule, for any of you that are familiar with that. Ariel. Over to Trudeau. Trudeau is able to get a gain to Asselin. Asselin looking for a reset. Has to take the inside shot to Ariel with Spice, but he fields that well. He wants the around to Trudeau, who wasn't quite ready. Instead, Tremblay able to get that over his check. Trudeau does the same. Over to Sirois. He gets right back out there after that drop earlier. Robelge. The lefty goes around to Ariel. Back to Robelge. Oh, bounces off the chest of Alec Trudeau. Kang Tran out there. Everybody chill, and I'm going to call a timeout, which you're allowed to do in caps. So, Dyno fired up. Going to set up something juicy here to take the win. Be excited to see what play call this is, or if this is just going to be, we're just going to ISO our handlers.
Yes, but now Dyno can take this game with this next offensive push.
Oh, did I say Origin?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. So, big coach captains meeting in the middle of the field here for Dyno. What are we going to do? And sometimes teams set up Dominators. Dominator, a big weapon for this Dyno team, and they have so many people that can be active in front of the disc, and they've played against the zone all game, so they're just ready to go against it.
Will Origine take that time to set up a zone?
I think so. I think they're going to look at the position of Dyno, whatever it is, and just say, all we have to do initially is break the setup of whatever they've got here. So, kind of seeing them all group up.
And they need to be in position. So that's Dyno's position. Ça, c'est la position de Dyno prend. Maintenant, Origine va pouvoir s'installer sa défensive. On voit une défensive personne à personne.
Squished horizontal stack, so this is definitely isolating Jalith, but Origine did a good job of kind of poaching off and sloughing. But once again, Dyno being able to use their handler core just to break through and get everything moving. So, Yip and Tran are able to move that up to Jalith. He's going to put this up. This is going to float. Reyes in the area. Does he have position? He's robbed by number 7, Levi Mullen, with the huge catch. As Dyno takes the win, they are fired up. That is... I'm going to wait.
Gros attrapé du joueur de Dyno par-dessus l'épaule du joueur défensif d'Origine pour faire le point et compléter la marque 13-11 pour Dyno.
You may have caught their excitement there a little bit, fans. That is the revenge win for Dyno. You saw their social media before. Started with that loss and then how they were going to come back this season. So they get it back. It is hard to beat the same team twice, they say. A little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, but, you know, you think you got it once and it was only on Universe. So Dyno will be in the final against, well, we'll find out the result of the other semi for you. We don't know, but you might already. We're going to take a break now, and we'll be coming back on this showcase field for, I believe, 1:30 for the open final, and then followed by the women's division final. But we have a break until then. It's going to be Ignite versus a Dyno. So Ottawa versus Vancouver in the open final. Thanks for joining us for this absolute dynamite semifinal. And Clay Hallett, Marie-Philippe Mayotte, we're going to be back with you later. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.